Hey, what's up? Dr. Nall here. Just wanted to hop on and answer a couple of common questions that I hear quite a bit. They are how long until I see some positive results? And then how long until I'm healed? When does this end? What am I looking at? Two very reasonable questions. And the first one, how long till I start to see results? We're all trained by, we'll say, the medical industry since we're young that if we have a problem, we don't feel good, we should be able to take something and we should expect immediate results, right? That's the training. Plus, I mean, that's the best possible outcome, right? Um, so we're going to have to get away from that. We're going to have to understand that when we're addressing root causes, it's going to take some time. It's going to take some time until we start to see some positive results. And of course, I'm sure you're expecting this. Everyone's different, right? There's no like set in stone time frame of you have X condition, so it's going to take Y amount of time until you start to feel better. I can say this. Generally, the vast majority of people within 2 months, let's say, are going to have some very obvious positive improvements. And a lot of people are going to see positive improvements before that 2 month mark. But if we're playing it safe, that 2 month area, you're going to see some positive changes in your symptoms. Now, the other part of this, how long until I'm healed? How long until I'm done? What's my time frame here? That answer has a much different time frame and outlook here. Couple reasons why. Number one, what do you consider to be healed? People are going to have different levels. It's a spectrum as to what they consider healed. So I don't like to give any definitive answers on that. Some people have much higher expectations than others. So you have to see where your own expectations are on that one to really, the higher the expectation, if we're talking about getting things as good as possibly they can get, that's going to take longer until the other person who's just like, I'll consider this healed when I no longer have symptoms. That's not going to take as long. So to answer better that second question, there are two main factors that come into play when we talk about how long is it going to take for me to get to where I want to go. And these are things that there's no test that can show us. We really have no way of knowing exactly what's going on inside of someone's body besides their symptoms and their health history. Those two factors are pathogens, so viruses, bad bacteria being the main culprits, and toxins like heavy metals, toxic chemicals, things like that. And if you're thinking like, oh, my symptoms are related to Epstein-Barr virus, so I have Epstein-Barr, so I have one pathogen. Typically, you have more than one pathogen going on. Now, your symptoms can be linked to one that can be giving you most of the symptoms, but you can have more than one strain of Epstein-Barr. There's over 60 strains of them now. So you can have multiple strains of Epstein-Barr. You can have other herpetic viruses as well. You can have multiple strains of shingles viruses going on at the same time. You can have HHV viruses. So there's all these possible strains that you can have. The more strains that you have, the more work it takes to get them knocked back. Chemicals, toxic heavy metals. That's another issue. Again, we don't know exactly how much you have. We can kind of tell based on your symptoms and health history, like, oh, you have a high mercury load, or you have a lot of aluminum, so on and so forth. But you are born with these toxins and heavy metals that your parents were exposed to and their parents were exposed to. So you come into the world with some of these already in you. And then we pick up more along the way because they're everywhere. You can't avoid them. It's no big deal. we teach you how to pull them out so you win the war. But those factors are the two big deciding factors as to how long it's going to take for someone to heal. And again, one person can heal in a couple months, a few months. People can reverse autoimmune, heal their gut, get their hormones balanced, fix their blood sugar. Whereas others, especially if you have more neurological symptoms, we're just going to work to get you set up with the right tools and the right protocols. And you're going to be working on this for many months, potentially years, to get to where you want to go. But at least you'll know that you're on the right track. And if you stick with these protocols, you're going to keep healing until you get as good as you want to get. Here's some X factors here. So stress. Are you stressed? Everyone has some stress. Stress plays a role. Now, obviously, we can't do a whole lot to we can't make stress go away, right? It's always going to be with us. It's actually, there's some good parts to having stress. It makes us grow. There's some good parts to it. But if somebody's going through a very stressful life event, whether it's financial stress, loss of a loved one, divorce, betrayal, things like that, the adrenaline that your body produces during these stressful times weakens your immune system. It actually weakens your white blood cells because the adrenaline that's produced is corrosive. It's toxic. And that can drop your immune system and let those pathogens get a little stronger. So that can take more time to heal if you're going through periods of high stress. The good thing is this style of eating and all these protocols are designed to make you as resilient as you can be as you go through stress. So we've got you covered there. The other factor is someone's discipline. Now, depending on your personality type, your mindset, all these different factors, some people are going to come into this and they are going to be blinders on, laser focused, doing everything X's and O's by the book. Very disciplined. That's going to work in your favor. Not everyone can be like that. Not everyone wants to be like that, and that's totally fine. You can still heal. But to the degree that you're not as disciplined, your results can come slower, right? That makes sense. The more of the good things that you're able to do and the less of the bad things, that's going to fast forward your results. So that's another thing that we specialize in is we build plans that meet you where you're at. And, we don't push everyone into the deep end of these healing protocols and these cleansing protocols. We meet you where you're at. We figure out what's actually doable and sustainable for you. And we start with that. And then if that's easy, we progress and we progress. But hopefully that gives you some insight as to how I look at those two questions.